How did you know this?
I didn't know at all.
I found that it actually gave a language.
June 2005, and 4 Navy SEALs journey into the mountainous border of Afghanistan and Pakistan on Operation Red Wings. The covert mission goes terribly wrong, and 19 of our troops lose their lives. But thanks to his valiant brothers, the remarkable kindness of strangers, and his own courage, only 1 SEAL makes it out alive. We read the book, we watch Mark Wahlberg in the movie, but seriously, nothing compares to being able to sit down with the lone survivor, Marcus Luttrell. Thank you so much for being with us. When you hear that, what goes through your mind?
Never heard it put that way before. That was a pretty good introduction. No, it's what it's always been. It's a humbling experience, obviously, to go through something like that, which was my job. I've been in situations like that before. Only the outcome was different. Obviously, I didn't lose 19 of my teammates, one being my best friend. So it was tough. I mean, I lean to my community, my teammates, more now than I ever did, especially now that I'm out. Being out of the community and away from the lifestyle it was a tough pill to swallow. I don't even think you can actually ever get over it. It's one of the hardest things to do is to get out and away from the community, because how hard and fast we live our lives, and then normal civilian life just seems boring, at best.
Boring. Well, here's what's interesting, I think, about military men and women, Navy SEALs in particular. You look like us, you talk like us, but you're a totally different animal.
We have the capabilities, obviously, at doing that job description. I was talking to one of the mothers a little while ago, and in the movie there's profanity. Well, I don't cuss in front of my mother. I don't cuss in front of women or anything like that, but when you go to work and you flip that switch, I'm not my mother's son while I'm over there doing my job. I'm a gunfighter.
Now, you wrote the book. You started with Lone Survivor, the book. Why did you write that?
Basically to honor my teammates, to immortalize them in the written word. And now that the movie, more people watch movies than they do when it comes to reading books. But it's kind of a crazy story, because I was in the hospital when this all came down. I was contacted by our head shed. They were like, "Hey, because there were so many rumors and speculations and just whatever coming out of the all these people died. You're not going to keep a lid on it. It's kind of like the Bin Laden raid. You're not going to keep a lid on it as hard as you can try. Something's going to leak, unfortunately." Well, I'd have family members calling me up in the middle of the night and say, "Why didn't you tell me this story about my son? I didn't know this." Why? I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, don't listen to anybody else. But if it comes out of one of my teammates' mouths or my mouth, then you can believe that." Time progressed, and I remember I was doing physical therapy, and I got a phone call, and they called me over, and I went in and I said, "Hey, we're going to declassify this. We're going to put it into a book. We've already got it. The lawyers involved," and I had to meet with all these. You can only imagine that being in the literary world, I had no idea what I was getting, what I was jumping into. I just knew that I had to do it right, and with the help of my community is the only reason it got it done. My sole focus was to get back on the line and get back over. When the book came out, I was in Iraq.
Of course, your brothers, your sisters, they're going to know whether this movie is true or not, or how things are portrayed. But to those of us who have not been in the service, how true an account is this?
We kept it as close to form as we possibly could. Obviously, real world situation, it all went down like it did, it played out like it played out, and then you take that and put it into a book. Well, because of classification reasons, or I just didn't know some of the answers, you put it the best you can into something that's not, north and south kind of a deal. And you take the literary translation and put it into a movie. I mean, Hollywood, something's gonna get dropped or changed because you have budgets and time constraints. And I had to learn about Hollywood and making a movie, and I was still learning about the book world. But the learning curve is pretty steep when it comes to there. But my whole mentality when it was time for the movie deal was to get the best people I could possibly get and trust in that short amount of time. With the director, Peter Berg, we met on a whim. straight on a whim. And I just had that gut feeling that you get. And I said, okay, it's yours. Don't screw it up or I'll kill you, is what I said to him the first time. And I was like, you don't have to worry about me doing it either. It'll be somebody else if you screw this up. Because, I mean, you got 19 guys who died, and then you have all the families, and you have our community. You can't. And the whole time he was doing the film and leading, it was a 5-year process. This guy put out like 10 men. I mean, he came over to the community, and we don't accept outsiders. If you don't have a trident on your chest, you're not even then sometimes it's difficult. And he just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, wanting to know information. He went to Iraq with us. And eventually he stuck around and put out so much that we opened our arms to him and brought him in. And then once that happened, he was able to really learn how we do things. And when we were on set, you know, he had the cast and the crew and everybody. Well, Pete had that mentality of what the teams really are, what they really are. And you could hear him just every day putting that out. And with the actors, we had a hold of them a month before filming, and then all during filming, we hammered those guys. It must have been 8 to 10 team guys at all times. Just anytime you see a scene in the movie with one of the actors on the gun, we're completely surrounding them to make sure that their fingers in the right spot, their verbiage in the right spot, their feet move the right way, their head moves the right way. All their gear is just spot on.
And I'll tell you what, I want to make sure that everyone looks for the book. There's 2 different versions. You need to look for the movie, of course, and you look for the lone survivor himself, Marcus. And I want everyone to make sure that they find you and say, thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Bring a bunch of unwanted attention on me.
Well, that's just the way it goes, at least for now.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Marcus.
No, thank you for having me.